Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Thursday night edition of Aquaholics Anonymous. I appreciate you all tuning in. Of course, thank you, Chattanooga Ed, my buddy, my pal, my co-host, for being here, and our special guest, Bob Steenfod of Steenfod Aquatics. Thanks for being here, Bob.
Now I got echo.
My pal, my co-host, for being here.
Okay.
Fixed. All right, perfect.
Sorry. Amateur. What an amateur.
What an amateur. I'll tell you how to fix that echo thing. You know, I really helped John at KG with it. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, good. It hasn't happened in a while.
Yeah, no, he I know that was one of his pet peeves that really drove him nuts for a good long time. Every time the chat started up. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, I appreciate you being here. I was watching your video on, the new fish room because you have recently moved, and I'm excited to see, how everything looks finished and set up and, kind of grown in. But I figured, I've got a fish room. You've got plenty of experience with fish rooms. Ed's got plenty of experience with fish rooms. We could talk a little bit about fish rooms, maybe some tips and tricks that we could share, as well as maybe some things that we have done that we recommend not doing. And then, of course, the usual Q&A and shenanigans and things of that nature.
Well, and that's where I was all day today working on that.
Very nice. So in the old fish room, you had about how many tanks? I know it was a lot.
So I got two fish rooms. My very first fish room is actually set up again right now. It's my only one now. Right now there's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe 15-ish tanks in there right now. But at one point there was like 30 and then about another 20 in the garage fish room.
Very nice.
But yeah, down to about 15, and there's more. I'm only counting the tanks that actually have fish in it, I guess.
Absolutely. So final product, what do you think you're looking at once you get everything set up?
In the new fish room.
Yeah, in the new fish room.
There's going to be way less tanks. So probably 5, 6, maybe a dozen.
Gotcha. So what are some things that you've learned from experience? Because I know, just like Corey's talked about, he's progressed. You always want to try and make the next fish room a little bit better. Are there any things that you're implementing in the new fish room that you haven't in the past, or things that you maybe would like to, but you just haven't been able to work out the logistics?
The only thing I'm really doing is nothing less than 20 gallons. No 10-gallon tanks, no nano tanks, because those are just oh man. At one point, I think I had like 20 10-gallon tanks set up, and it just takes forever to maintain that sort of thing.
It does.
So nothing less than 20 gallons. I'm going to make the mistake and not do auto water changes again. And I feel like if I had the opportunity, I would. But, seeing as how I'm renting out a garage, I can't really make any permanent modifications.
Right.
And that would require, drilling in a drain and things like that. So unfortunately, I'll still be doing it the old-fashioned way, which is fine.
Absolutely.
And then something I've never done is this time I'm going to paint the entire room black. Walls, ceiling, everything. And I'm going to set up tanks specifically with keeping like reflection like on the back of my mind. Like if I put a tank here, what's going to, when I'm filming it, is going to be behind it, like what's going to show.
Yeah, that is definitely a big thing that maybe just as a fish keeper you don't take into mind, but as a YouTuber or fish tuber, it definitely comes into play after the fact. You're trying to film and you're like, oh man, the light's behind me, I got to turn off this rack and things of that nature.
And I might actually, so it's 8 feet by 16 feet, and I might take, because I'm going to have a lot of extra 3/4 inch PVC. Right. And I might just drop it off the ceiling like 6 inches and then run like a black shower curtain that I could like run up and down the room. So if I'm filming this tank, I can just slide it down behind me.
Nice.
I like that very much. That's a very good idea.
Yeah, there's nothing more annoying when I'm like editing a video and it's like I just see everything in the background.
So filtration, are you going linear air, I'm guessing?
Yep. Nice. Just the co-op one. I don't even know what the name of it is. Just co-op.
Absolutely, that's what I call it. The LH P whatever.
Yeah, I think it's the
which is-
45 one. And
Yeah.
honestly, if you put that like in a loop, like you could run twice as many as it says easily.
Absolutely. I know I was well over the recommended amount that they had on there. No problem whatsoever. Also wasn't having to have any blow offs. That was a plus too. But yeah, I love that pump. And Ed, you've got that pump as well. So
I do.
I will say one thing that's kind of funny or stupid, whichever way you want to take it. So I've been using I have a Gemco LPH 45 in the garage,
Mhm.
and I have the aquarium co-op version in my fish room in the house. And as I've been taking stuff down in the garage, like I didn't even consider the air pump and like back pressure and things like that. So I actually burned it up.
oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was. I mean, well, not permanently. Like it got so hot that it shut down, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've never seen one of these break. And I messaged Corey. I'm like, this stupid thing broke. He's like, no, it didn't. They don't break. And then sure enough, once it cooled down, it just started right back up. But I was like, it didn't even register in my brain that I was like removing all these tanks and that I had to worry about the back pressure. But that thing was like, yeah, I mean, I could fry an egg on that thing. It was so hot.
Oh wow. So yeah, there's a nice tip. If you're not going to kind of run that thing out towards its limits, make sure that you have a way for that back pressure to get blown off of there. Definitely. I don't have that problem, if you will. At this point, you never know. But I will say that's definitely one thing. If you're looking at building a fish room, I would highly recommend linear air. Get that co-op pump because, like I said, those things don't break. And then sponge filters.
Funny enough, in my fish room that's still up right now, I'm using like all Tetra Air Whispers because I'm robbing like parts out of both fish rooms to build the new one. So I don't have any linear air pumps going right now, but I definitely will. And I'll have backups. I'll now have 2 backups, which is nice because I've always had one in each fish room, and then I've had one spare in case one actually does die. So now I have multiple spares.
Very, very nice. Danica Aquatics, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, I think Bob needs a few more speakers behind him. LOL. Hashtag Bigfoot lives.
Yeah, I'm actually playing it through my surround sound, so hopefully there's no like echo or it's picking it up.
Very nice. I appreciate that. Look at you. That party popper there. That reminds me, I do want to talk to you, all the viewers. I'm going to be doing away with the party poppers. Not
Too expensive?
well, no, I don't care
Sell
to
your
buy
stock. Hurry up and sell it. Let me know.
But honestly, I've always tried to think from an environmental standpoint, but it really has to do with the plastic. There's just so much plastic waste coming from these things that's not anywhere near a necessity. I figure I could do
I
it.
always burn it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always,
That's
get that plastic out of the environment.
yeah, you get a little whiff of the fumes too. But no, once these are gone, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to get a nice maybe LED light up thing I can flash for those instead to still give you all some flair. Do you want me to turn my gain down? We're picking it up somewhere.
Yeah, I'm fixing it.
Okay.
James, can you save those though, so we could use that?
The party
Those
poppers.
Yeah, I keep forgetting to ask you to save those because it's for something I want to make with Sean Peck, that game we play.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah,
I wanted to make walls with them.
I've got a ton of them. But yeah, that's really the thing. I've been watching some documentaries, and it hit me. I'm like, I try and do other things, and here I am with all this plastic waste that I'm creating. Medco says that $4 store is going to go out of business. They might, I don't know, but I hope that you all can understand that it's to be a little bit greener, if you will, be a little bit more environmentally friendly. You help keep the planet and our oceans cleaner. So that is the change coming there for that. I just wanted to mention it. Made me think of that when I did the party popper. I'm gonna grab this other super chat real quick from Fantastic Freaks. Thank you very much, buddy. Hope you're doing well. $5 super chat says Dean Thought in the house. Nice to see another puffer keeper. Always great to see you too as well. Always got fun and interesting folks on the stream. Fantastic. I appreciate that very, very much, my friend.
I'm doing away with the party poppers, but here, let me just do
Oh, this is the last of them. I think I've got about 10 left. So we're gonna continue the tradition on through until they're gone. Mike's Aquatics and things with that $2 super sticker with the big red thumbs up. Thank you very much for that, buddy. Really appreciate it. It's always good to see you, my friend. Sean, good to see you, buddy. Saying hello to myself, Ed, and of course Bob and everyone else. If you do have questions for Bob, myself, or Chattanooga Ed, feel free to throw those in the chat. Put at Fish Room Fever, the at symbol, and it will highlight for me so we can ask Bob all those hard-hitting questions. Bob's like, wait, no, I didn't sign up for that.
I don't have answers for him anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Right. Absolutely. Deborah
I'm
Lewis
just saying
saying
it.
you'll just have to blow them a kiss like they used to do on one of the old game shows. No, I don't know. Maybe we could do that. But no, I do appreciate you all.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to share this. Hold on.
All right, sweet. In terms of fishy things, there are going to be a lot of things coming that change for the better. I'm going to be making some improvements on the channel, so I hope you all enjoy those. And that's all we'll talk about that for tonight. We'll get back to the fishy stuff and get this off the chat so that I can see it. 40 Years Fish says, I'm wondering why... Oop. Jumped off the screen. Why my live stream was crickets. It wasn't because Furlough was in there. It was because everyone was in here. I'm sorry about that, buddy. But I appreciate you coming and hanging out over here. We stream every Thursday night after KG Tropicals. And then my buddy Chattanooga Ed goes after I do, and then so on and so forth. But I appreciate you being here. Sorry for the crickets. So one of the things like we're talking about recommendations, I highly recommend going linear air. I know you, Bob, are a huge canister fan, and it probably breaks your heart not to put canisters on all of those tanks. But the water change, in terms of doing auto water change, I know that you said you were making the mistake of not doing it.
You know what? I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. If I'm only doing like 12 tanks, it won't be that bad. I didn't do auto water changes in my last fish room because I wanted to get into the tanks. I wanted to make sure I was seeing everything because I was selling out of those tanks. So it was important that I get into those tanks, like, you know, almost on a daily basis to make sure that nothing funky is going on. Absolutely. But with 12 tanks and this being my full-time job, I mean, I got all week. It's not going to be bad.
Absolutely. But if you are someone that does have we'll say the standard 9 to 5,
yes,
12
suckers.
12 tanks still isn't bad. But I certainly feel like if you're going to start a fish room and you're planning it and you're scaling it out beforehand, which of course I highly recommend. We could talk about some of those things as well. But if you're planning it out ahead of time and you're going to have, a couple dozen tanks in there, I definitely would recommend trying to incorporate an auto water change system in there. It does have the side effect, like you mentioned, though, of maybe not being in the tanks nearly as often. You have to kind of intentionally get yourself in those tanks because it's just kind of a set it and forget it, if you will. But not all of us have reached the level of what Corey's got going. I thought it was great. Corey Aquarium Co-op. Basically, everything can be run from his cell phone. Is what he was talking about. The lights, the water changes, the heat, everything is just off the cell phone. You sit there. Oh yeah, I need to do this, or I'm out of town and this needs done.
So my original design was actually not like full on auto water change. It was just going to be like I manually turn it on, and drain, and I manually turn it off. Right. And I originally had a design for every wall would be separate. Because like in my planet tanks, I don't necessarily want to be doing auto water changes all the time. Right. Whereas if I was breeding like Corridoras, I do want to do water changes all the time. So it wasn't necessarily automated, but it would have been autofill and auto drain and manually turn on and off.
Right. Well, that's still not bad. That's still a lot easier. But no, planning, we very briefly mentioned planning. I've found that is the biggest downfall I've had was not planning things out ahead of time. But in all honesty, it was never intended to turn into, fish room or fish rooms. It just kind of progressed from there. So now, going through and rebuilding, restructuring a fish room, I sat down ahead of time and I probably went through a dozen different layouts of how I could do things and how I wanted things. And you know, what fish are going to go in what tanks, and how are those tanks going to work into the room, and all of that stuff. Did you kind of put a lot of time into the planning, or was it, oh, I know what I want and I can just go ahead and get on it?
So my very first fish room wasn't supposed to be a fish room, right? It was the rec room of the house. I bought a fish tank and I was like, this is pretty fun. So I got another fish tank and then another. And then it came like whatever I could score on Craigslist or OfferUp. I didn't care if it was cheap or free. I would go grab it. So I just had random tanks all over the place. The second fish room, I built shelves for 20s and 40s. So no matter what, those would fit on it. And then like the bottom shelves, I could do like 75s or 90s. So I put more thought into, you know, the size of a tank, and like I can only stick to these size of tanks, and that. And the next fish room is going to be way more planned out, as I like now I have the option, like I can take the 40 breeder out and put a couple 20s. The next fish room is going to be like specific. Whatever I set up that's what it's going to be forever.
So do you have an end goal fish room? I guess, like, do you have like a plan in your mind? If I want to have, you know, this, I don't know, 20 by 20 building that's laid out like this, or anything like that? Or is it kind of, this is what I've got to work with, so this is where I'm going to go with it?
Ultimately, I would like something big enough, maybe like for reference, like a 2-car garage. Right now I'm taking up like half of a 2-car garage. What if I could take up like an entire 2-car garage? I wouldn't do anything in the middle as far as like rows. I would just do all 4 walls, and then I'd want like a big pond in the middle, like the big round blue tubs that you can buy.
Yeah.
That are like 900 gallons. I'd want that right in the middle for my puffer.
Very, very nice. I think that would look good.
I've kind of gone away, like it's always been as many tanks as I could have, just more and more and more, where now it's just like I'm chilling down quite a bit, pulling way back. And now it's like I want something that's going to be aesthetically pleasing and kind of a space. And I get a lot of this from my friend Danny, who's got her fish shed, or she shed, and where it's like you can hang out there and you feel like you're in this like tropical paradise. That's kind of what I want to go for now.
Very nice. Yeah, I've kind of hit that spot. And I'll be honest, burnout is a part of it for me. You know, it went up and up and up and up, and I can cram this tank here and fit this tank there, and I can build this rack. And it got to a burnout point of I'm spending all this time maintaining and doing this, and I need to focus on other things. Like I could be improving channel, getting out more videos, actually watching the fish. So that's what I've been able to do now. And the revamped fish room, is it's kind of laid out. It's just walls instead of how many racks can I put in here, you know, at an angle. It's just, okay, I can see all of my tanks from one sitting location and enjoy things. And have a semblance of that paradise that you mentioned.
Yep.
Bob, now, is your fish room for just enjoyment, or are you also looking at it as profit?
So I'm not looking at it. The new one's not for profit at all. I'll be selling some fish, but I only plan to sell stuff that I breed going forward. And it's stuff that I want to breed for fun. Right. I plan on selling the fish. I don't want to give them away, because I don't want some random dude that doesn't know anything just buying the fish, but I hope that I can sell them for a very, very good price, like cheaper than you can get anywhere else. Just because I want to, like the fish I want to breed, I love them, and I think there should be more of them in the hobby. And so I want to make them more accessible, and, you know, maybe sell Corydoras for a couple bucks, where, you know, a stir-by Cory, if I go to my local fish store, they charge like $15 for a stir-by Cory. When you can breed like 300 of those in a week and sell for like $3 a pop.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's the goal. I'm also lucky enough to have a local wholesaler. So if I do breed 300 and I can't sell them, I could just go drop off a couple hundred fish to the wholesaler.
Right. Very nice. I'm going to grab a couple of these super chats and stickers of new members real quick. Carrie Habercord, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker with that exercise pair, lifting those weights, saying keep it up. Very much appreciate that. See, there's a dud. Thank you for that, Carrie. roll on through here. Actually, I'll grab these off of this screen here. That'll be quicker for you because I see a couple of comments and questions in there. Tank Top Tropics with that $1 super sticker with the smiley face with the big old glasses on. Thank you for that, Tank Top. Glad to see you here, my friend. Douglas Ragsdale. Wow, sorry, Douglas. Screwed that all up. I don't want my screen go down. Oh, there we go. Says, I want a popper shout out before they're gone. LOL. $2 super chat. Thank you for that, Douglas. Here you go. We're going to get you right on.
Well, that one was a good one, too.
IHSPS Tank Tribe with that $2 super sticker with the big red heart. Very much appreciate that, IHSP. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope things are going well for you. And then we had a new member. Welcome to the Fish Room Fever family. Thank you for becoming a member. Be sure to check out the behind the scenes stuff, the custom emojis, the members only videos. And one of the things we're going to be doing, get that off of the screen so I can see. That was Michelle Kinsey. Welcome to the team, Michelle. Welcome to the Fish Room Fever family. Is we're going to be making some adjustments to how often we stream and what's members only and what's not. Kind of give time to improve on some things and improve on the fish room and also give you all the members some added value for supporting. So thank you very much for that. And then the Chubby Guppy throwing a $5 super sticker out there with those cute little hippos popping out of the water. Thank you for that, Chubby Guppy. I hope you were doing well today. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate the super sticker. My teeth don't want to work for me today. Guess I should have glued them in, right? All right.
Nico is so ornery. He was laying.
Sorry, buddy. Go ahead.
This is very important. Baby Cat tried to get up here, and Nico just spread out and wouldn't let him anywhere on the pellet. Okay, now we get back to the normal, bro.
Right. Now back to your regularly scheduled live stream already in progress. Paul Stira says, James, if anyone knows a source for a pisto, Bob, you want to pronounce that Nijsseni?
I don't see it. I don't have a mouse. I can't scroll through. I'm trying to keep track of chat on my phone, but I'm not doing a good job because I don't want to be like staring down the whole time.
It's Nijsseni.
Oh, the Ninjensei?
Okay. Give me.
I don't know if that's right, but that's how I say it.
There we go.
You just gotta be confident when you say it, and the people assume that you're right.
Right? Absolutely. Been there, done that, right?
Don't stutter.
Yeah, exactly. No, confidence can really win you a lot of things. I got backstage to some different band tour buses that way. I kind of snuck in on a meet and greet, just being really confident, and managed to get past security that way with the group. So that was a plus. But I digress. Alrighty. Hello, Tony, saying hi from London. Great to be here and in your lovely company. Great to see you, Tony. Appreciate you being here. All right. Jacobs Aquatics, how are you? Says, I feel the same as Bob. I like getting into the tanks. Yeah, it's definitely one of those when you've got less tanks or when you downsize, you really can get more hands-on with stuff. And it's really tricky to be in your tanks every single day when you've got, 30, 40, 50, up to 100 tanks. Some people even more. It can really be time-consuming and difficult to take the time to actually interact and to catch things. I'm sure things get missed from time to time that wouldn't be if you had less tanks.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
I so want to sing that right now, but I'm not going to do it.
So we talked about the water changes and the air pump. Any other recommendations for somebody that's in the planning? Anybody, thinking of setting up a fish room or they're working on their first fish room? Anything that you've done as you went from your first to your second and so on that you're like, man, I wish I had just started out doing this from the beginning?
Well, I feel bad for anyone who's setting up a fish room right now. The price of lumber, holy smokes. I know I complain about this all the time, but even like a sheet of OSB, which is normally like $8, is $42 right now.
Oh my gosh.
Not that this is any advice for anyone setting up a fish room, but man, I was at Home Depot today and I almost crapped my pants.
Yeah, I've got to build a stand for the 220 gallon, and I'm really scared to do that.
Oh man, it's almost cheaper to pay someone to make it out of iron now.
Well, that's what I could say. Looking at some of the metal setups at this point, specifically with the lumber prices, might be advantageous. Ed, you've got the metal stands there, and I know you love those things.
Yeah, I can stick magnets to them.
Now, what do those run, and what size?
Oh, they're, I think they're 72 inches long, so they fit two 20s and one 10 sideways, and that's just perfect for me. I think they're like, man, I think they're normally 189, and I got them on sale for like 129, or maybe they're normally 229. I got them for 189. It was something like that. I'm sorry, it's been 2 years since I bought them.
Oh, you're good, buddy. And I know they've got a really good weight rating per shelf on those things.
Yeah, I could crawl on it and it wouldn't bend at all. It's like, I don't know what it is, 7,000 pounds. It's crazy.
Yeah,
but
it's something absurd.
I screwed them in though to the wall, so that way, because everything's front heavy, all the tanks are on the front half of the things. So if I had a kid or somebody trying to climb it, I don't want it to crash.
Right. Absolutely. So Fantastic Freaks would like to know, what's Bob's 5 favorite freshwater puffer list? Mine would be Fahaka, Peas, Amazons, Red Eyes, and Spotted Congos. My Dragon Puffer and Mabu Puffer. Haven't owned one yet. Parenthesis as honorable mentions.
So funny enough, you could go to my channel right now and you can see a top 5 of my favorite puffers. But I will tell you, Mabu, Harry, Pea Puffers, Amazon Puffers, and then the fourth one's the fifth one. I'm not a big fan of Fahaka Puffers, believe it or not. I feel like if I'm going to get a Fahaka, I would much rather have a Mabu. Comparatively, obviously they're bigger, but they're not, when you get into a fish of that size, is it really that big of a deal? An extra 6 inches or so.
Yeah.
They're just way more community friendly than a Fahaka. But I really like the Congo puffers, and I guess if I was forced to pick one, I would pick the Shidontai or the Spotted Congo puffer, whatever that one is. I don't like that one because they're like freaking $9,000, but I don't know. I really like the Congo puffers, not the spotted, but the actual Congo puffer, because they burrow, but they're ambush predators, and you can't have them with any other fish. And I already have a hairy puffer, so I don't want 2 tanks that are like one fish only.
Right.
So I don't know. I definitely have my 4 favorite, and then the 5th one, it could go either way.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Now, can I ask a real quick puffer question? The 2 most common small, other than the pea puffers, are the Amazon and the figure 8s, right?
So I don't do anything with the figure 8s because they're brackish.
Okay.
But coming up from the pea puffer, you have the Amazon puffer, and then the Spotted Congo puffer would be in that. They're in that same 3 to 4 inch range. Just you could buy 20 Amazon puffers for the price of 10, but you know what I mean.
Will they get along enough? The Amazons?
So Amazon puffers are definitely community, but they're one of those puffers where you want to buy 1 or 6 of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then is it 15 gallons per fish, or what do you do?
So with puffers, I always like to go bigger with puffers. One, they make a mess when they eat, and they're bigger, they're bulkier. So for Amazon spotted or just Amazon, I would do them in a 55 if I did a group of them, but 75 would be ideal.
Okay, cool.
So Tony from London would like to know, and saying hello as well. Good to see you, Tony. Hi all. How would you plan your water changes when you're away on holiday? Let's say for a couple of weeks. Thanks.
Real quick, going back to Ed's question, 55 or 75 if you did a group of them. You could do 20 for one, 29 gallons would be minimum, but 40 would be best in my opinion.
Absolutely. Can you have one with dither fish?
Or, yeah. So Amazon puffers, I've kept them many times. I've never had them go after a fish ever. I've seen no aggression out of them.
Oh wow, that's awesome to know.
Yeah. I've had them with roseline sharks, with obviously rainbow fish, tetras. I've never done anything small like micro rasboras or anything super nano, but they've always done well with tetras and never had an issue.
Very cool.
But anyways, back to your question. I already forgot it.
Oh, it was how would you plan your water changes when you're away on holiday? Let's say for a couple of weeks.
Oh, I wouldn't do it at all.
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't worry about it. Especially, I mean, I could see your guys' tanks have live plants. Mine have live plants. That's all you need.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're maybe worried about the load, get in some good water changes before you go on holiday, Tony, and lighten up the feeding because we pretty much all overfeed our fish to the extent that they don't.
Yeah, I'd be more worried about feeding them than I mean, I never do water changes more than twice a week, anyways.
Yeah,
unless I'm doing like a high tech planet tank, and I haven't done that in years.
Absolutely.
Actually, that's what my next video is about, is water changes. So,
oh, nice. So be sure to go check out Bob and stay tuned for that video. But yeah, I honestly wouldn't worry about it. You could get in a couple of good water changes if you are kind of nervous about leaving it for a couple weeks. Lighten the feeding up so that you're not getting as much waste in there, and just kind of, like Bob mentioned, the biggest thing is going to be making sure the fish get fed. Of course, you could get some automatic feeders depending upon how many tanks you have. That may or may not be feasible. If you've got 30 tanks, buying an auto feeder for all of those at once might not be fiscally wise. But really wouldn't worry too much about the water changes, my friend. John Cox saying, built 3 fish rooms so far in my life and starting another. First was just adding tanks over time from yard sales and such mostly. Second one, I overplanned, making the job take way too long. So you definitely can reach a level of overplanning. But I do feel like if you have an assigned space and you know that you're building a fish room, it's well worth taking some time to at least plan it out before you dive in. But like your first fish room started out just kind of accumulating. John mentioned just accumulating stuff. I did the same thing. It was, I got one tank, now I got another. That's part of why I didn't do really saltwater focus this time around, is because that gets really expensive when you have multiple tank syndrome in saltwater. So that's just a whole nother ball game. But it definitely is one of the things I wish I had known it was going to get to the level it did and planned it accordingly prior to.
yeah, I'm going in the new fish room. I'm going all about ease of use. I'm like before, like I've had it where I could barely get in with a net. Now I'm like, dude, I want 20 inches between my tanks, so I could like crawl in the tank if I want to.
Yeah, and even things like, I've made plumbing mistakes before in terms of having things where I couldn't access them. Like, I'm not going to need to get to that. That thing's sealed up. That's not going to leak. I put it together. It's fine. And then, maybe you have something gets clogged or something goes wrong and you have to access it. And you're like, this isn't good. So definitely keeping things in mind. Try and think of, what could go wrong and how you would deal with it or not be able to deal with it in your planning. Sean says, Bob, if he's moving to Olympia, I will buy most of the Corys. LOL.
I'm going the opposite way. I'm trying to go more north. The farther south I go, the higher prices are.
Gotcha. Nope, chat jumped on me here. Let me get back up.
Unless you went east really far and then south.
Yeah, I mean, I've Tennessee has always been on my list. Like I would someday, like that's where I plan on retiring.
Well, we'd love to have you here. Welcome to the Tennessee Fish Mafia, my friend.
I never thought about it till I moved here, and I absolutely love it. Can't believe it.
That's what everyone says. Hopefully, people don't figure it out and prices skyrocket before I can get there.
Yeah, we stop telling people it's horrible. Don't tell people about it, Bob. You don't want to come to Tennessee. All right. I will get to the super chats and stickers in just a moment. I do really, really appreciate you all. It means a lot. It's never expected, but always very greatly and deeply appreciated the support that you all show for the channel. So thank you for that. I know I had highlighted stuff that flew past me here for you. Here we go. Rescue Dog Treats says, for Bob, Danny seems to take care of lots of tanks. Are you homing any fish over in her she shed?
Yeah, I'm taking actually my entire colony of panda guppies. up there. I brought some rainbows up there, and I'll be hanging out up there all weekend, screwing around and moving tanks and working. So you'll see an update maybe Sunday if I'm feeling motivated. If not, the week after, you'll get an update in the fish room.
Very, very cool. Zen Ginger referencing the wood prices again. Yeah, she said her husband was going to buy some or build some homeschooling desks. Looked at wood prices and said, "Nope, not doing that." I don't blame you. I'm scared to go and look and see what they're at currently. I know even 6 months ago they were already ridiculous, so I'm sure they're probably triple, if not quadruple, what it was pre-pandemic, I guess. Paul Sotero with a good point says, find a blacksmith / metal iron shop. You can get the stand in the gauge you want, configured how you want. Very true. It's definitely one of those. Think outside.
Does anyone else hear that, or am I like a thumping noise?
I hear it.
Is it my cat's tail?
I'm trying to decide if it's your cat's tail or my dog's tail. Like something's thumping.
Because this cat's tail's been thumping nonstop on the desk here.
Oh, that might be what it is then.
And then my cat's out in the hallway because she wants in one of the other rooms that the door's closed on, so she's been meowing nonstop. I've just been praying that's not going over. We're bringing all the interesting things to the technical aspect of this stream tonight. But yeah, no, very good point, Paul. And it's definitely something to look into metal racks, look into maybe a metal fabrication shop. If you could do those things yourself, like Rachel O'Leary's husband, that's absolutely phenomenal. If you can metal work your own stuff together. If not, you kind of get stuck paying for the lumber, and just do what you got to do.
Fantastic Freak said the tale of two tails.
Collins Critter Cave says, help! I just had a massive Molly fry drop in my green spotted puffer tank. I have nowhere to go with them. I normally only see a dozen at a time, which my puffer promptly takes care of. I mean, I think it'll probably take care of them still, just maybe not as quickly.
Unless
I wasn't paying attention to the comment.
Maybe he's trying to save them.
He might be, possibly.
If he's trying to save them, go get a 10-gallon tank and put them in there to grow them out.
Absolutely. I mean, at the price that you'd pay for a plastic tote, you could just go get a small tank to grow them out in, like Ed said. Throw you a sponge filter in there and you're good to go. But the question, Bob, was says, help, I've just had a massive Molly fry drop in my green spotted puffer tank. Have nowhere to go with them. I normally only see a dozen at a time, which my puffer promptly takes care of.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like your puffer's gonna. I don't know what the problem is if you're trying to save them. If you're trying, I don't know. I guess
in there, or I'm not sure. If you want them gone, I'm sure the puffer will still take care of them. Just maybe take a little bit longer. If you're wanting to save them, then like Ed said, I would just go get a 10-gallon tank. If you're like, oh my god, I have to do something right now, assuming you've got a 5-gallon bucket around, you could move them into there with an air stone, and they'd be fine. Short term, even something smaller. There are a lot of they're fried, they're small. Something short term just to save them and get them out of the tank. Even just a small, even a Tupperware container or a small plastic tote or something like that. There's the cat again in the background. Amanda Jean 165, hello and welcome, says, at what point does humidity become an issue? Is there a noticeable point it becomes a necessity to have a dehumidifier / exhaust fan? That is a wonderful question, and one of the things definitely want to address with fish rooms. I fight humidity. We all fight humidity. In talking to fish keepers with large quantities of tanks, humidity is a big thing that we have to deal with. So either one of you gentlemen want to discuss how you deal with it?
Well, I have a dehumidifier right outside the fish room, and then I have an exhaust fan above me. Like halfway through last summer, I had mold growing on my couches. So yeah, that's not good to have mold growing because of the humidity. So I had to clean everything, and really good. But exhaust fan's huge. And now during the winter, I didn't have that much humidity. I keep one heater in the whole room, in the whole fish room, and it's oil. I don't know. It's not oil powered, but it's an oil machine, oil heater. And I don't have the humidity problems, but I'm sure this summer I will again.
Absolutely.
And then the exhaust fan goes on, the heater turns off, and everything just stays at an even 75.
And
That's funny. That's in the winter is the only time I have problem with humidity.
Oh,
But that's because in the summer I open all my windows and I keep them open all day nonstop.
well, if I opened my windows, humidity would be coming in. It's insane. We had about 9 inches of rain just in the last week.
Wow.
Yeah, no, and that directly to the point of that question. Where's the noticeable point? Unfortunately, I feel like a lot of us that don't preempt it or build something in a dehumidifier, exhaust, or whatnot, we don't really notice the point until we start seeing, like Ed mentioned, the mold on his couch, or you see some mold or mildew in a corner or someplace that's not really getting any airflow in the house. So just knowing that, the cat is not happy she can't get into that room. Just knowing that it's going to happen, I kind of try to preempt it without waiting and going, oh yeah, I should have dealt with the humidity a lot sooner than what I did. I don't really know if there's anything. I mean, I guess other than just being able to feel the humidity and going, oh man, it's too humid in here. I don't really know of anything noticeable that you could really point to and go, hey, if this is happening, you need to get a dehumidifier or an exhaust fan, other than like the mold and mildew issues. Do you, Bob?
So the only time I have really bad humidity is after a water change and I forget to put a couple tops back on. Otherwise, I have like just a portable dehumidifier, and I keep that thing set at 45, and it turns on and off throughout the day, but doesn't seem to cost me a ton in power and gets the job done.
Yep, absolutely. And then if you're somewhere in between, like the portable one that you just have to, do you dump your bucket that pops out of that thing, or do you have it? Okay. So if you're somewhere in between just having the portable one where you're having to dump that bucket of water a lot, and like Ed, where he's got a built-in exhaust, what you can do on a lot of those is plumb a drain line into them. A lot of them I've seen, it's just a garden hose threading, where you can plumb a drain line off of that and run that thing out off of the portable one. So maybe you're not like, oh, I can't really, reconstruct and put it in an exhaust fan. You could at least have it set to where if you're getting more water than you have the opportunity to dump out of that thing, so it's constantly full every time you turn around, which means it's not dehumidifying, consider setting up that drain thing. I'm sorry, the cat is very needy right now. She can't get into to see Mrs. Fever because that door's closed, so she's going to come to the live stream. Tony, you are very welcome for the answer. Thank you for being here, my friend.
That's the one thing I don't have in my fish room that I wish I did, was have a drain. I have my dehumidifier in the summer. It runs 24/7. I dump it like 2 to 3 times a day. And I wish I could just hook the hose to the back and drain it. But I just don't have anywhere for it to drain into.
So if you can't put it to a drain, now she's going to knock stuff over. If you can't put it to like an actual drain, one thing that you can do, of course, you want to make sure the amount that's going to be accumulating before you just set it and forget it. But if you have that dehumidifier up higher off the ground on a stand, and then like run that piece of hose into a 5-gallon bucket, that gives you a lot more room for the water than just that little bitty.
Would it auto shut off though if you're doing it into a bucket, or will it just continue to drain and then overflow?
That's why you want to know, how much water you're going to be getting.
See, I would just like take a nap and forget about it and wake up with water all over the floor.
No, I mean, that's somewhere you could use a float valve, and have it plugged into that setting. So if it did hit the top, it would shut itself off. But
I do plan on eventually putting it up on the wall above a window, and it's going to be the same window that has my cat door on it, and just drain it straight outside.
There you go.
But I have
I don't really have to. Like if I forget to put a lid or two on, it'll fill up in a day. But otherwise, I mean, mine have to empty like every 3 or 4 days. I'll probably only do it twice a week.
That's not bad at all. All right, I'm going to grab some of these super chats and stickers because I am very behind on that. We've only got about 15 minutes left. Let's see, we're at the Chubby Guppy. So S, thank you for the $1 super sticker with that brown pile of fertilizer. You actually get the last one of these I've got here. Now, I may find 1 or 2 more, and some people have had some interesting thoughts on what to do with that plastic. So I'm going to look into that and see if there's a way I could reuse that, because just like with the extreme fish food containers, and that's kind of what really hit home. It's like I'm telling people, instead of throwing this out, make a breeder box or make a box filter, and then I'm throwing this plastic out. So it's kind of like a...
What are you going to do instead?
So I'm thinking like some sort of maybe lighting setup, and I can just hit a button or a switch and have it, something like that. So we can still have
disco party,
the fun. Yeah. Have a disco party, but I don't know. So people have had some good comments on what I could potentially do with these. Somebody even said use them for biomedia. I kind of like that. I'll look into how difficult it would be to get the adhesives and plastic or the adhesives and paper off of these things to make them fish safe. But I mean, I don't hate that idea. I really like that idea. I could picture having a whole bunch of these little plastic things and kind of like a 5-gallon bucket do-it-yourself trickle system, kind of replacing bio balls, if you will. So I'll definitely look into that. But this is the last one of these that I've got here that I was able to find before the stream. So thank you, S, very much for that $1 brown pile of fertilizer. And we got Peplin Creek Aquatic with the $1 brown pile of fertilizer as well. Thank you very much, Peplin. Rico Stan with the $10 super chat. Good to see you, Rico. Says, baby, if you ever wonder whatever became of me. I'm living on the air in Cincinnati, WKRP. Thank you very much for that, Rico. Love it.
You hit the rhythm so well on that. And you are so far behind.
I know. You just got to that one? Holy smokes.
Yeah, well, I've been doing them in bulk. So like sticking to the chat and then going, because now I'm in studio. Well, I'm glad I hit the rhythm, because I'll be perfectly honest, never heard of it. I only knew that it was a song because I heard you all referencing wanting to sing it. So I'm glad I was able to hit the rhythm, not having a clue what it is.
How young are you? It's a TV show.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm 34.
Good ones,
So
yeah, with Venus Flytrap and Johnny Fever, and Les Nessman. They were all on the air.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Like,
Please forgive me. I'm just a baby. I'm just a kid. I don't know.
You know who Lonnie Anderson is?
Nope.
Okay, we won't talk about this anymore.
No, but I'm also one of those people that, unless I'm horrible with names. So like if you showed me a face to the person or like what they were in, I'm like, okay. I had that issue when I first met the missus, and I'm not going to digress real far, but just talking music and stuff. She's like, you don't know this song, you don't know this band, and then I listen to something like, well, duh, I know them, but I don't attribute the name. Like for some reason, the name and the song title and stuff just don't register in my mind, which is weird because like I could still tell you where product goes exactly on what shelf from my old job, and on what aisle number out of 10,000 items, but I can't, remember a song name that goes with lyrics. Anyway, sorry, folks. Hate to disappoint. Didn't know that one. Chad Cross, thank you for the $5 super chat. Good to see you, my friend. Says finally made it to Aquatic Marine this past weekend. The corals in the tank between restrooms are mind-blowing. Yes, I was just up there yesterday. Got to hang out with an awesome person here, one of our subscribers in Fisher & Fever family, messaged me, said, hey, I'm passing through. I'm going to stop at your LFS. I was like, yeah, I'll jump up, run down there and say hello and look at some fish and buy some things. But I'm glad you got to go there, Chad. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It really is. Kenny is always improving. So if you're ever in East Tennessee, you get a chance to go see Aquatic Marine in Knoxville, Tennessee, I highly recommend you do so. If you're down a little further south in the Chattanooga area, of course, we've got Rob at Aquatic Aesthetics, also a very cool guy with a very cool store. And thank you again for the super chat, Crod. And it's just good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Texas
Rob,
Fish. Oops, sorry, go ahead.
Know that you're doing more important stuff. Keep going.
Texas Fish Room with the $1 super sticker with that brown pile of fertilizer. Thank you for that, Texas Fish Room. Very much appreciate you. Colin Scritter Cave with that $1 super sticker and that beautiful forest of trees there. We're just going to keep adding to the forest. Maybe it'll get big enough we can get a Bigfoot living there, and Bob can go find it. So thank you for that, Colin. Sean Chadwick with that $3 thumbs up fist bump pair. Thank you for the fist bump. Thumbs up, Sean. Appreciate that very much. Hillbilly Aquatic with $5 super chat. No question, no comment. Just throwing $5 at us. Appreciate you very much, Hillbilly. Hope you're having a wonderful night. Bottom Dweller Aquatics joined the Fish Room Fever family, became a member. Thank you very much for becoming a member, my friend. I hope you enjoy the behind-the-scenes content. Of course, the custom emojis in the chat, as well as if you make comments on videos. And some of the new features I haven't even discussed with the members yet. I've got a couple of things planned out as the channel goes through changes, and we'll talk about this more another time when we don't have such an awesome guest like Bob. But some
Do you
of
see they're getting rid of the dislike button?
are that I hadn't seen.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. We'll have to do in the next stream. Let's see if we can get 100% dislikes for me, so that way I can go out on top.
All right. Well, I want to say we've got 135 watching and 87 thumbs ups, so I appreciate that very, very much. You all are awesome, and thank you for being here. But Bottom Dweller, I hope you enjoy that members only content, and be on the lookout. There are some fun things I've got planned just for the members. Guppy Shack with the $1 super sticker with that brown pile of fertilizer there. Thank you very much for that, Guppy Shack. Very much appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. And Mike's Aquatics and Things with the $5 super sticker and that exercise keep it up pair. We're going to keep it up. We're going to keep it going. Got about 8 minutes left, and then it's going to be time to keep it up over on Chattanooga Ed's channel with the Nocturnal Feeding Show, feeding your late night hobby hunger. So we're going to have some fun there. I don't know what Bob is doing. I always put him on the spot right at the end of my stream. But you'll at least get to see Ed and I there.
Come on over. But you can also go and chill out and eat a steak.
Absolutely. Efficient Tactics, good to see you. And BJ Palm to put the party popper plastic into clear LED Christmas lights, or onto clear LED Christmas lights. Maybe. I don't know. We'll look into some things. I definitely do not want to be throwing any more of that away. And without going on the plastics rant, even if you recycle plastic, it still doesn't recycle like you think it does. Most of it just goes in the trash anyways, unless it's certain plastics. So Zen Ginger saying 20 days until I have my 1 year badge. Woohoo! Congratulations and thank you for that, Zen. I really do appreciate it. I know I've got a lot of awesome people in here with that purple badge.
How do you get to tell things like that?
That are about to hit 1 year. I'll tell you how to do it another time when we're off air. I'll walk you through that on the tech side. But yeah, you can look at your days as a member. So Bottom Dweller says the real question, Bob, is how old are you, sir?
Older than dirt.
Older than dirt. All right.
And I'm probably 10 years older than that.
Old enough to know what WKRP in Cincinnati is and who Lonnie Anderson is.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well,
I live a very sheltered life, I suppose.
Rob, my fish store guy, he mentioned a line from WKRP. Mm-hmm. Les Nesseman said, I swear I thought turkeys could fly because they put a whole bunch of turkeys in their helicopter and he chucked out white turkeys. Not wild ones that could fly. And this is to save them for Thanksgiving or something. So he just threw all these dead turkey or live turkeys to their deaths to all people. It's hilarious.
Oh my goodness. So Sean has a question here for Bob. Says, Bob, any fish swap or anything like that happening nearby Seattle or anywhere that you know? Any website that you recommend which will give me update on those events? So I want to go.
There's nothing. There's the Greater Seattle Aquarium Society, normally does monthly, and they take summers off. But I haven't heard of any sort of in-person gathering. They've just been doing everything virtual. So no swaps, no auctions, no nothing.
Now, I heard the one that Kenny's the president of now is having his first official meeting soon.
Oh, nice.
Down in Portland?
Yeah. So that's cool. He was all excited about that. He might still be here. I don't know.
All right. So we got about 5 minutes left before we go over to Ed's channel. If you've got any last minute questions for any of us, feel free to throw those out there. Doesn't have to be fish room related. Could be anything, any problems you got. We're always willing to try and help you our best. We're not experts by any means, but well, I don't know. Bob might consider himself an expert, you know.
I would consider Bob an expert.
I consider Bob an expert.
He's definitely cooler than me.
So
No
final thought,
way.
gentlemen.
You got a freaking orange goatee. At least it looks orange to me.
Oh.
That's way cooler than anything I've ever done.
Trust me, if you met me in person, it'd be red. Everybody tells me that. Oh, it's a lot more red than
I haven't
thought
met
it was.
you in person, but it wasn't. I think it was before it was that color.
Yeah, I know. I did. This is just a football thing that now I can't get away from because
Yeah.
everybody would
You
have a
brought
heart
it on
attack.
camera. You brought it on camera. That was your own doing, sir.
It used to just be like a 4-month thing.
So Robert Aquatic Aesthetics mentions April 24th at Aquatic Aesthetics, the Chattanooga Area Aquatic Society will be having a swap meeting from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Great to know. I may be able to get down there. That's awesome.
I will be there, and I will have some guppies. And I know that my friend Clint from Prestige Aquatics is going to be there, and he's going to be bringing some guppies too.
Very nice.
So, yep. I was trying to remember what Clint's buddy's name is. Oh, well.
Not sure, honestly. BJ Palmer would like to know camping soon, Bob?
If I do, it'll just be solo. I haven't heard anything from them. And I really, really, really want to go soon because it's been forever. So,
Well, just fly out here to Tennessee. We'll go camping.
yeah, oh, trust me. I look at airline tickets almost every day. I'm so jonesing to go anywhere. It's been forever.
Absolutely.
Turns out I have a free ticket that I thought I could only take to Vancouver, but I can also take it to Portland or Seattle. So I might be coming up there sometime this year.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just a bizarre twist of fate.
Very
Got to
good.
get James on board.
Yeah, my dad and my mom bought a cruise together for last year, and then they had to cancel it because of the whole disease. And my dad has the exact same name as me, and so it transfers to me. So.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, we never put senior on things like that or junior. So
if you had one piece of advice for somebody that's building a new fish room, what would it be?
I have one piece of advice for anything fish related, and that's be patient.
Yeah.
Be
I thought it was
patient.
going to be by Rainbow Fish.
No. This is way more important than rainbow fish.
Now, patience is definitely a virtue. You definitely learn it on the saltwater side of things. It's a necessity on the saltwater side. It really is, but it so often gets dismissed in freshwater, I think, unfortunately. Absolutely. Ed, your thoughts?
Well, I planned quite a bit. I planned for almost a full year before I even not really broke ground, but started putting up walls. I tried to look at everything. Like, do I want to have carpet? Do I want to have, I ended up with this rubber artificial wood flooring just because I thought it looked cool, and wood you don't want to get water on. So I went and found out what they have at restaurants, and they have this rubber artificial wood that they get. So I got that, and I just went slow. Like Bob was saying, patience is everything, because you don't want to miss something that's super important. And I didn't do the auto water changes, but I don't have anything else better to do in my life, so
That's what I kind of figured.
Absolutely. Really, planning is my big thing. Patience is important. I'd say planning. To add on to that, look at what can go wrong and try and preempt that. That's always one of my major things, is trying to expect the unexpected, so to speak, and incorporate that into your planning as part of that. Pegasus Arena says, there it is. In case you missed it, my LFS has dwarf pea poppers for guppy puffers for like $5 each. So tempted to get one, but can it be in a guppy tank, 29 gallon? Puffer folks, gentlemen, Bob, Ed?
Well, as a guppy guy, I would say no, especially if they have big tails, because it's going to chase the boys and probably take off their tails, would be my guess.
I agree.
There we go. That was my thinking, but having not done the pew puffers, wanted to defer to the experts as it were. John Cox saying, are we going to the swap on the 24th? Chattanooga. Ed will be there for sure.
Yes.
He mentioned, I will try and get down there. I will see what I've got going on, and I would like to be there. Trying to get my windshield fixed before I go anywhere too far from the house. Hashtag traffic ticket, not fun. That's less fish.
Yeah, Jimmy
stuff I
just
can
broke
do.
my windshield.
Oof.
Oh, Jimmy.
Yeah.
It seems so nice.
He's got those big knobby tires, and we were going through gravel last weekend, and he flung one right into my windshield.
Oh no. Alrighty, so it is 10:32 Eastern time. We're going to head over to Chattanooga Ed's channel for the nocturnal feeding live stream. I do appreciate both of you gentlemen here. Any last words, shout outs, promos, shameless plugs?
Be patient.
Be patient. I like it.
Take your time.
Take your time. Patiently take your time. I do appreciate you all being here. Of course, Ed, thank you for joining me every week. Bob, Steamfot, thank you for coming back again, hanging out with us. Always a fun time with you. The members, moderators, lurkers, listeners, super chatters, and contributors, I really, really do appreciate you all. Everybody that hit that thumbs up. We got 95 likes. That's phenomenal. 138 people watching. Thank you all for being here. Of course, the replay crew. Haven't forgot you all. Love you guys too. Let's go check out Chattanooga Ed's channel. Until next time, keep your fish healthy. Keep yourselves healthy. Catch yourself a little fish room fever. Take care, everybody.
Later.